Welcome to this lesson where I show you how to use and write effective ads. So in this lesson you will learn how to set up an ad, what to keep in mind, and how to write the best ads for maximum CTR and sales. In the next lesson I will then show you how to really optimize ads and get the most out of them, but in this video you will learn how to set them up the right way. So here we are in one of my demo campaigns called Black Mask, and then the ad group is called Black Hat Mask. And in here, what I will do now is I will create an ad right here from this dashboard. So I click create ad and use text ad. And this is how the ad creation window looks like. So first of all, we have to enter a final URL. And, and this is, of course, the product or whatever you want to advertise in this case. And here is my first tip already, and the first thing that you should keep in mind. The link to your website depends fully on what you plan to do with your ad and what kind of keywords you address. So let's say that you use keywords for a general product. For example, let's say a makeup brush, right? Let's say you want to advertise a makeup brush, and when people look for makeup brush, they typically don't look for one specific product. So the thing that you would do in this case is you would send them to a category page, because selling makeup brushes with Google AdWords text ads only really makes sense if you have multiple of these to show. Same goes, for example, for fashion or for shirts or whatever. Whenever you have a product that has multiple variations that are entirely different, like different colors, different sizes, and you don't specify these specifications with a keyword, it makes sense to send people to a collection page. However, when you have a very specific product, for example, let's say a rainbow makeup, you know, this rainbow makeup brush that was quite popular for quite a long time in dropshipping space, this is something that you should direct directly to your product page. So this could be, for example, yourstore.com/makeup brushes, or if you send them to the individual product, it could be something like rainbow makeup brushes. So this entirely depends on the keywords that you chose. Like I said, keep in mind that you want to send generic products or generic search queries to a generic kind of collection page, and when it's super specific, one specific product, you should send them to one simple product page. So this is, let's say it's yourstore.com/product, and then we have two headlines, a display URL, and a description. So the first thing that you should keep in mind is when you write an ad, it is important that that you always test at least two different ads at all given times. And the only exception to this is when you have a very, very small budget. For example, let's say only $5 a day. But when you have, for example, 10, 15, 20 or more dollars a day, I would always run at least two different search ads at any given time. And the reason is you never know which one works better. And then if you have two, you can optimize and go ahead with the other one. In this case right here, we have to continue with two headlines, and of course these depend on your product. Let's say we advertise, like I said, the makeup brush. We could write something like get our stylish rainbow brush, or get our rainbow makeup brush 40% off today, free shipping. This could be a good headline. You know, it is proven that numbers actually raise awareness. So when people scroll through Google, when they see a number in the middle of text, it typically makes them stop, even if it's just for a second, but it really makes them stop. So when you have discounts or something, I will also show you later on in the lesson that you can do them and use them in an extension, but you can also use them in your title to make people really stop and have a look at it. And here, of course, it's very important that you put your main keywords in the ad. So if your main keyword was rainbow makeup brush, it is absolutely necessary to put it in the headline, because if you're on the search results page on Google, the main or the query that someone typed in will appear in bold in your ad. So if someone looked for rainbow makeup brush and is presented with this specific ad here, these three words will be in bold. People will see it immediately and they will think that your ad is perfectly tailored to their needs. And this is super important. If you only make it like get our makeup brush or get our makeup, this will still be bold, or maybe still bold depending on what they're looking for, but it's definitely not as specific. And people might say, well, I'm looking for a rainbow makeup brush, so why should I click on their ad with a makeup brush only, right? So keep this in mind, put your main keyword in the title, and you can also repeat it in the description later on. So let's have a look at the display path, and the display path is not really relevant. It's not relevant for the link because this is where people get sent to, but the display path is for the customer or the potential customer to know what your page may look like. So right now, if we keep it like this, yourstore.com, people might think, well, you know, the headline sounds good, but it seems that like they're just sending me to the index page. So what you might do is you can go to makeup/rainbow brush or something. So in this case, people see, okay, these people sell makeup, and they send me to their rainbow brush category or rainbow brush product page. And this way, you can make sure that these people immediately see that what you have to offer makes sense, at least from a link perspective. So of course it's not necessary, but it definitely adds this little bit of relevance that could make a difference and could increase your CTR by like 0.1, 0.2, 0.5%. And this is really about what you plan to do with your ad. Probably you have an ad that directs someone to an educational blog page to then sell your products on this blog. In this case, you could call it something like reviews and then makeup brush, right? So probably you have a blog, a list of blog posts where you make reviews for certain products, and then you put it afterwards, so people immediately see, okay, these guys are actually talking about reviews and not directly try to sell me something. So this really depends on what you have in mind with your ad. And now the last line, of course, is the description. And like I said, if your main keyword is rainbow makeup brush, it can make sense to put it back in the description again. So for a limited time, you can get our rainbow makeup brushes without paying shipping or with free shipping. This could be one thing. In the end, it's very similar to your headline, so this is still something you might want to test out. You could also go a little more in detail on your product itself. So you could go with something beneficial, like why this rainbow makeup brush is so great. So, you know, it looks amazing, it makes you feel cool and whatever, these things. That is something that you need to look at when you look at your product. But it could also be something more feature driven, like shop our selection of quality rainbow makeup brushes today. Save 40% now, or something like that. You get the idea. The headline is your most important part, and here you have to grab the potential buyer's attention. And in the description, you can go a little bit more into detail on the functions, on the benefits. The most useful thing for me, I found out, is that if you do a split test, like I said before, I recommend that you always do a split test on your ads so that you have two separate ones. And the most important thing here is that these both ads are entirely different. So many people do it like this, you know, they keep one ad like this, and with the split test version, they just go ahead and, for example, change the order of the headline, so that headline 1 is headline 2 is headline 1, or probably instead of 40% off today free shipping, they go with something like 40% off by today. You know, it's a split test, yes, but the difference is so small that, especially if you're on a tight budget, this doesn't really make sense. If you're on a tight budget, you need to make sure that you test as much as possible. And one way of doing that is by having a first ad that is, for example, talking all about the features, and then a second ad that is talking all about the benefits, and then seeing what works better. Like I said, it doesn't make any sense to just make small changes. Probably one ad gets 4% CTR, the other one gets 4.3, and you don't really know which one is the winner. But if you make one entirely about the benefits and one entirely about the features, and both look entirely different, and I also recommend to use different headlines, not necessarily different display path, but you may think about different headlines and different descriptions, and then you might see something like ad 1 gets 7% CTR, ad 2 gets 3%, and you really know a winner. So this is where you can really get these clear winners, because this is not really possible if you just do minor changes to your ads. So this is the basic setup of of ads. One other thing that you need to understand is that many people, many stores like to use jargon when it comes to their ads. So let's say they sell a technical product or a product that is a little more complex. They expect their visitors to know this specific language that only people can understand or know about the product. This is something that you should only use if you are sure that the people who are interested in your product also know this language. So if you talk about some electronic product like drones, for example, make sure that you only use language that people that are looking for a drone may understand. These people may not be drone experts. So if you use any specific language that measures the quality of the drone motor or something, of the drone engine or whatever, this is probably not what you want to use. You can do things like it flies, I don't know, up to 100 meters, battery lasts 6 hours or whatever. But if you go very specific, if you go very technical, this is typically something you should avoid if you assume that your target audience does not know all these things. And one last advice here is that even though you should really have a system for creating ads and make everything very, planned, you should create your ads creatively. So many people, when it comes to ads, this is really the point where you can go ahead and try many different things and where you can really get creative with your headlines and descriptions and everything. So make sure that you have a process going on for creating these ads. Like I do split tests, I do this, I create another ad. Once one of the ads gets better CTR, I cancel the other one. This is all great, but when it comes to the individual ad creation, make sure that you apply some creative work to it. So don't have an actual framework for the individual ad, because you might realize that if you always try to be creative on every ad and do two separate ones that are entirely different, you're probably going to see the best results. So this was this lesson on ads in general. We have still 2 more lessons going on for ads. One of them is ad optimization, where I will show you how to take one ad that is already working, or how to, when you have 2 ads, how to pick the better one, and etc. And another one for ad extensions. So ad extensions is about, the different site links and callouts that can go below an ad to increase CTR. So I hope that this lesson here was helpful, and I will see you in the other lessons.